Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of the Real Tag Journeys of Resilience and Success. And for today's topic, we're going to um, just give me a sec. So we're going to be talking about the from struggles to strength, so overcoming obstacles on the entrepreneurial journey. And we have a guest who will be sharing her journey and experience with us. So she will be joining us in a few minutes. But before we go into our topic, let's introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but according to reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor. I also wanted to remind you that every Tuesdays and every Thursdays we have our live webinar. So if you want to learn how you can start your online business, all you have to do is register in the website that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. So when you register on the webinar, you receive an email that will have the link to register. So we'll take you to a page that has two buttons, one for Tuesday, one for Thursday, so you can register for either one or for both. You also get a link to the replay. So just in case you cannot attend to the live webinar, which happens every Tuesday and Thursdays, 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST, you can catch the replay on that link and watch it at your own convenience. In addition to that, we invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. So when you watch the webinar, what are you going to see in the webinar? Well, on the webinar, you're going to see how our online business plan works. And also you get to see, hear from the testimonials from the panelists, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. They're going to be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. Okay, so let's find out who were the hosts and panelists from yesterday's live webinar. So our host was Maria. She's a clerk, cashier, IT programmer. And our first panel is Catherine. She's a litigatory director. And then we have Prudence, senior staff nurse. We have Ralu, he's a manager. We also have Timothy Hawkins, he's a mobile vendor. Anastasia, she's a housekeeping, and Joanne, a dialysis nurse. We also have Dasola, a clinical quality improve and analyst. So as you see, we have all different walks of life, ages, and cultural ethnicities. So they all decided to take that leap of faith to change their life and and do start their own online business. So our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages: the Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. And our replay webinar has subtitles in several languages. Okay, so I think we have, okay. Um, we do have a comment here from Anthony A. Annie and you. So thank you, Anthony. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your like emoji. Okay, so let's bring our guests to the studio. Hi, Ruby. Thank you for coming.
Hello, Sandy. Thank you for having me.
So, would you like to introduce to the audience?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Ruby. I am originally from the Philippines and currently living here in Minnesota, USA. And
Thank you, Ruby.
I'm a teacher. I finished a teacher. I am a teacher back home, but I decided not to pursue the career when I got here in the US. That's almost 20 years ago. But yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with the questions. Okay, so our first question for you is, can you share with us the biggest challenge you face when transitioning from your traditional career to an online business, and how do you navigate it through it?
Yeah, it was actually, yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge because you we from being an employee to entrepreneur or business owner is two different settings. When you go to work, You just have to punch in, do what they ask you to do, and then you punch out, and then you're done, right? And then you do that every single day, and we've done it, for years, and and decades. We're used to do that. Everybody's doing that. But then when you transition, but when you start a business, become your own boss, becoming your own, like you schedule your time for it. It's not like when you go to work, like, yeah, you have to get up, at this certain time, and you have to be there. You don't have to be late, because then you'll get fired from if you're late, right? But then it's a big challenge, especially when you're running a business, and then you never had any background, any business background before. It's tough, but it's doable. It's doable because and that's what I like also in our business community, because we have each other. We may not know each other before, but then because of this community, like like we feel like we've known before, because we're in, like this is just the atmosphere in our community, like where it's, and plus it's global. You're from Panama, you're in Canada right now, from the Philippines, I'm in the US right now. And but we have and what I like about it is we have classes, we have teachings, we have Zoom meetings, we have each other, we have classes that teaches us how to overcome those mindset. I mean, like there's, because if you're an employee, you have different mindset. If you run an online business, you start a business, you have different mindset. You have to own your time, you have to own your business, you have to do everything that you have to do in order to to run your business, to get the result you want. But then if you go to work, all you have to do is just punch in, and then start doing what you needed to do, and then you go home, you get paid for the day, and then but that's daily thing. But then when you're running a business, like you may not get paid for a shorter time, but then you think about the future, the passive income that you're getting because you have your online business. And what I did really is, at the first few months in doing this business, my biggest challenge really is how to merge my faith into business, because my faith is a big part of my life. Like I'm a Christian and I'm a believer, and then a lot of people would judge you, like, hey, what are you doing online? Or like, hey, maybe this is a scam, you can't be doing this, blah blah blah, but they don't know. But that was really hard for me, like the first few months in the job, in the business. And how am I going to run if my mind is like, I'm so worried what other people think. That's the biggest thing. Like you know that what you're doing right now, that you're running a legit business, that you're not scamming people. And then people already judge you because you're online. But we are social media marketing, so you have to be in social media. People are in social media, in Facebook, on YouTube, and then so you have to be where the people are, just like traditional business. You cannot put your store in isolated areas. It has to be a location where a lot of people could access to it, right? But to me, it's really, it's the mindset. Like, I don't like when people, I know somebody called me before, like emailed me, like, how dare you do that? You're scamming people. I said, like, you don't really know what I'm doing. If you wanted to know what I'm doing, okay, this is what you need to do. I said, no, I'm not going to do that and all that. But it's just people, if they don't know, most people that don't know talks a lot, but it took me a while, really. Like, and then how I navigate through it, I started following Christian entrepreneurs. I started following, Christian leaders in the business, business millionaires, billionaires, and then most people that are in that, that are already in there financially, they're actually the most giving people. They're actually the most, like they depended a lot on God to be able to be, to get where they are at. I mean, Ray Higdon, I'm sure you're familiar with Ray Higdon. I followed him so much because, like, he's been in the business for the longest time, and then he just became a Christian. And then so I asked him question, like, how do you navigate, how like, I asked him the question, I told him exactly where I'm at, personally and in business. And then he answered, actually. And then a lot of people in that, in that group also give me their insights. And then as long as you know that you know what you're doing, and then you prayed about it, and then God, is telling you to do, you're the only one that can walk, the journey that God has before you, not them. So that really helped me. Then I started reading books, and then I started, listening to Christian podcasts and all that, the Christian business owners. So that's how I overcame and said, like, you know what? This is my journey, and no one can walk this journey but me. So I'm going to walk in it, and then, don't care what people say. So yeah, it's tough, but it's part of, of the business, part of life too. You muted, sis.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for sharing. And a lot of things that you touched there that, yeah, I think a lot of us, as an entrepreneur, when we start this journey, I, for example, I was eager to start my online business, but I really didn't know what to expect because I never done any online business before. Um, so for me, it was, it's scary at the beginning, just because of all the emails that even though, I'm used to receive lots of emails, but because it was something new, I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? But then, I say like, no, breathe, and then do one by one. So that was my first scare, and it was okay. Another thing that you touched about faith, and this is something that one of my mentees mentioned, that she said that she really loved this because on some jobs you cannot talk about religion. It's like kind of like prohibited. So she was happy that, like on this global online community, you are fine to talk about religion, like about your beliefs. So I just wanted to mention that. And also, like we all, I think most of the people that we are in the global online community, for some reason, we were guided through God to become here.
Yes.
That's something that I found out when I first started, because everything, for example, when I found this online opportunity, um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like everything was aligning at the time, when I found it. And then I even reinforced it when I went to the Calgary convention. I was in we had like a bus trip at the end of the convention, and then in there they were praying before we were leaving. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, yes, I'm in the right place. um so me too,
Pastor Rico? Rico?
yes,
Oh
yes,
yes, I just love him. I just we prayed, and then we share, and all that. So I just love that. And then like that ignites, my faith even, as a like, hey, God brought us here for a reason. I mean, yeah, it's not really like, it's not really just the money. Money is given because, we are in the business. Who doesn't want money? Who goes to business without, thinking about getting their money back? But money is given, but the freedom really to do it, what it is that I wanted to do, and then like you said earlier, like God is guiding us here. Because like my question really, like before I found, my coach, at, I actually like asked the Lord, like, what is it really your plan for me, Lord? Like I don't have children of my own. And then I've been supporting my family back home, send my brothers to college, and then my niece, and then now my it's like, and I was like, what's your plan for me, Lord? Because I wanted to be in the ministry, and then like I felt like I'm giving God my leftover time because I have to work, and then sometimes you are tired from work. You can even go to Bible study, after working 12 hours because you're already tired. I don't want to be physically present and then mentally absent because I'm already, tired. And but Lord, what is it that you want me to do? I wanted to go mission, but then you have to have money to go to mission, right? You
Mhm.
have to. I've been to, 2 mission trips in Africa, and then it costs money because you have to, I mean, you have to buy plane ticket. They don't give you a free plane ticket because you go to mission. You have to buy your own plane ticket and then pay, for your lodging out there too, and your food. So I said, I wanted to do this, but I don't have money. And then God presented this opportunity. And I told myself before, I don't want to be in the business because it's a headache. But then when I saw like how to run this business, you can still work, you can do whatever it is you want, you can travel with it. And it's like, hey, I can do this. So yeah, thank you. I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
no, no. Yeah. Yeah, for me, and another of the reason is the portability of the business. That's something that I was looking. Like I found something like that, the digital nomad lifestyle back in 2018, 5 years before I found this online opportunity. But at the
Mm,
time, I didn't know how they do it. So I kept working for 5 years. But then, I guess God made you, like to wake up. So I got my aha moment on 2023 because, my industry, I work in the movie industry. Um, my industry was on hold for the rest of the year. Like, so, and that's our busy season. So we couldn't work. So I had to find something. And
something.
I encountered something like that back in 2004. But at the time I was young and I didn't have that mentality, and I wasn't thinking about that. But now that I'm older, I have a different mentality, a
Mm-hmm.
different things that I want in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why, I was thinking about, finding an online business like this, where I
Yeah.
can have that flexibility, work-life balance, and take my business wherever I can go, because I love to travel, and not being stuck in one place to do it. For example, like if you have a restaurant, you have to be there,
Yes.
and it's not really like you have freedom because you have to be there before it opens, while it is open, and then after, when you close. So preparing for the next day. So I wanted to have something, like this. And when I found this opportunity, check all the boxes that I was looking for. So, and then, have aging parents. So right now, they're independent, but eventually I will have to take care of them. And with my working hours, I work long hours, and then I have a long commute, and my hours are not fixed. It varies according to the shooting. What they like, sometimes will be during the day, sometimes will be at night. So that wouldn't really work for me to be able to be there for my parents. So, and I wasn't thinking also working until 67. So I wanted to retire early. So yeah. So when I found this online opportunity, it had all the things that I was looking for. So that's why
Yes.
I found it and I love it. So going back to, you mentioned something about employee and mindset and entrepreneurial mindset, and I think this is another thing that we see a lot when people come to do the online business. Many, start with the employee mindset, and
Yes.
that's one thing I think that's one of the struggles of people to be able to continue on the journey because they don't have the right mindset. They still think that their job is their priority. And when you think that way, you're not thinking as an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
because you gotta shift your mindset. Your mindset is your business, even though you do it right now on the side. That's your priority, and your job is the one funding your business, because that business that you have right now, although it's like a plan B for now, that is going to become your plan A in the future. My apologies, my internet is a little bit slow. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the things that people have struggles when they come to this business, because they still have that employee mindset. But once they work and they start to understand, that they have to shift that, because we have training for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they start changing, because doing an online business is not easy. It
No.
has its ups and downs. So you really have to work on your mindset. That was one of the first lessons I learned in this business, the mindset. Because I thought that I had a strong mindset because I encountered, a lot of obstacles in
Mm-hmm.
my life. But I realized that I didn't. And the reason why is because you have to feed your mindset every day. You know, it's
Yes.
not something that you do it once and then you leave it like that. No. Um, Thinking of your mindset is like a muscle. If you don't exercise your muscle gets weak. So the same thing is for the mindset. If you don't feed your mindset all the time, when you're going to encounter an obstacle, depending of the level of the obstacle, your mindset is going to fail you. But
Mm-hmm.
if you have a strong mindset, you might feel down, which is normal because we are humans. But the difference here is that you're gonna bounce back. You're gonna have your moment, but then you're gonna bounce back. But a
Mm-hmm.
person that has um, not a strong mindset is gonna feel down, and it's going to stay in that moment. So
Mhm.
so yeah, so that's the thing, like we have to shift the employee versus the
Mhm.
entrepreneurial.
I like
um
that. I like what you said. And that's a good reminder to all our, our business owners too. In the community, that once you get into this business, shift your mind. I like what you said, that once you're in the business, you have to shift your mind that this is your plan A. Your job, is there to fund your business. Like I like that analogy, because this has become, once you're in the business, think about it, this has become your plan A. And then while you're working, that job is funding your business. And then if you think it that way, you don't have to worry about, to choose between your job and then this business, because you have to make this work. Because this has a promise that when you work, we just work at it, it will give you the passive income that you needed, the freedom, the time freedom. You don't have to ask, for permission anymore. You don't have to save up your PTOs, your vacation, like I'm doing right now. like I said, like, I can't go. I said, Coach Rosan, I can't go to convention this time. I have to save my vacation because I wanted to go home to Philippines this Christmas. And said, oh, then first Christmas. I mean, I've been going home, to Philippines, but this is my first Christmas, and that's a plan. I'm going home and spend the first Christmas in 20 years. This is my dad's
yeah,
long wish. But because of
yeah,
this business, I'm able to do that this Christmas. Thank you, Lord.
yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yes, I know the feeling, because it's when you get to get all the family together
Yeah.
during Christmas times, and I love that.
That's
Yes,
thank
I wanted to say something more, but we're gonna go too
you.
long. It's already, I told you I love to talk.
Me too. Me too. I can relate with you. Yeah.
Okay. Um, we're gonna go into the next question. Okay, so let me just bring here. Okay, so the next question is, what was the turning point in your journey where you realized this online business path was the right one for you?
Yeah. Because I asked God what's his plan for me. So that's the question, and it's okay. Like sometimes you have this, you feel like you're down, and then like you feel, sometimes you feel pity, like, okay, what am I getting into? Like, okay, Lord, I feel bored. Like, what's your plan for me, really? And then when I ask him that question, and then I listen to my heart, what is it that you want, like, as if God answered you back, like, look, what's your plan for me? And then, like, he asked me back, like, what is it that you want? Like, I want to spend more time with my family back home. I want to spend time, with my with my aging parents. I wanted to spend time with them while they're still here. I don't want to go home and just, you know, give them, my last goodbye. I don't want that. And I know I have friends that that's in, it's been in that situation where they can't even go home because they cannot afford a plane ticket. And I said, look, Lord, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be that person. And I want to spend, time with my mom, my dad, my siblings, while they can still hear me, while they can still, like, we can still enjoy each other. Because I've been here, for almost, yeah, over 20 years, for 20 years, actually, yeah, for almost 20 years, 20 years, yeah, almost 20 years. And then and then time is short, life is short, and I wanted to spend, and then I said, if I wanted to do that, I have to do something, because I don't want to keep, if I wait until retirement age, until I retire like 66, 65, 67, you think my mom and dad, are still alive? Then maybe, but then it's not a guarantee. And then it's not even a guarantee for me to reach my retirement age, even, I mean, a lot of people, have retired now. They may have the time freedom, but they didn't have the financial freedom. And then they're still paying their mortgage, they're still doing this, they're still doing that, they're still paying their student loan. And then I don't want to be, I don't want to be in that situation. And it's not being, like, it's not. And then even our job is not even a guarantee. Like, companies, are closing, their doors. And then, if you're one of the unfortunate employees that will be laid off, and then what are you going to do? And then what if you're already in your 60, and then you were not even ready, for retirement? So I am, like, I'm like, I want, it's not too much to us. There's there's not, there's nothing, there's no such thing as too much to ask God from. I mean, God created everything, he could do that. A lot of people in our community, is having fixed income now, and they can do whatever they want. They can give, even, one Rome Verdera. He even said that he doesn't even know what to do with his money but give, because he has this income monthly, and then if we have that, we could help a lot of people, like you can help churches, we can help, your family, your sibling, and then help. There's a lot of people, are scared to have more money. I mean, because they said, their mentality, again, mindset, that money is the root of all evil. It's not the money, it's the love of money. It's what you do with money. If you put money above God, then that's a problem. Like, money is not so important. They said, money is not really that important. Well, it may not be that important, but it touches everything that's important to you. If you want to go visit your family back home, you have to have money, you have to buy a ticket, right? And then if you want to go visit them, you have to have time to do that. And then, do we have it? If you don't have it, then, start thinking, about joining us in this business, because it's tax registered. It's, it's a lot of people are enjoying their time freedom now. And then if it is possible for them, it's possible for you, it's possible for us. And then we're here because we see it. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it did not exist. It is here. But if you're just willing to see it, you will see it. But then, yeah, so the turning point is for me when I wanted time freedom. And then if you wait until, like, to me, it's not a guarantee for me to reach 65 years, because who knows, like, what if I mean, nothing is guaranteed in this life, right? But start doing baby steps right now towards with what you really want in life. I wanted to visit my family. If I can visit them every Christmas, I would. If I could visit them, every single year or twice a year, I could. I want to. Or spend, 3 months there or 6 months here there. I wanted to, but I can't, because I'm so limited. You can never give what you do not have. So if you want to give, you have to have it first. So if you want to give your time, you have to have time freedom first. You cannot give your time if you don't have it, even for yourself. So what I really want is the freedoms. Like, I want it to be there. I want it to be, even my relatives, share, my faith with them. I mean, life is there's more important to life, like eternal life. I wanted to share Jesus with them, because, yeah, that is that's my desire, that's my heart desire. But if I'm stuck to the job, wait, 2 weeks, you have to save your 2 weeks in order for you to use it, and you have to have vacation, and all that. So I really want the freedom, and this is what I want, because a lot of people in our community are enjoying it. If they could do it, I could do it. We're using the same system, so it's possible. It's really, really possible for us. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty long, maybe. I like to
Thank
talk.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. So yeah, like you mentioned, there is a blueprint, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, they think that, oh, this is a scam, but they really haven't seen, because we have seen what on the inside. We know that there's proof, because a lot of people have got. Just to say, when I started back in 2023, like for example, today we have our mastermind. It was
Mhm.
called only Wednesday Mastermind, right? But now it's called Millionaire Mastermind. And the reason why it's called Millionaire Mastermind is because we have a lot of millionaires, not just one person. We have a lot of millionaires now in our global online community. And I've seen with my eyes how people, started, like us, at the beginning, and then, now they're having like success. So
Yes.
there is a blueprint. So you just have to follow the blueprint and stick to it.
Mhm.
Um, and do your work and do not give up. That's the hard the that's a lot of people, they give up just when they are about, to make the reach. I don't know how to say that, but to be able to reach. There is a story about some people that, were digging to find the gold, and
Mhm.
they were tired of digging and couldn't find anything, and so they stopped, and then they sold equipment to another person, and this person, he got someone who knew about how to find gold and that kind of stuff. So they started to dig, and it was only three meters down, and
Yes.
the gold was there.
Yeah, they
But
could.
what happened, they stopped before, because they
Mhm.
give up so easily. So that's
Yes.
the thing. You don't need to give up. You need to continue and follow. Um, I think the hardest part on this journey is the process. What I call the process is that, like, you start from point E and then you want to get to point B, which whatever goal you want to reach.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, that's a long goal. Okay. So if you look at the long-term goal, um, you're gonna start going, with excitement and along the way, but then you're gonna start feeling like, oh, I don't see the results. And then you start seeing other people's results and you're not seeing anything on your side. So you start focusing on the things that you can control. And because of that, you're getting not motivated anymore and eventually you give up. So if you understand the process, that there is a process that take you from A
Mm-hmm.
to point B, then it's gonna be different because you're going to understand that, um, you have to do the things that you can control. So what are the things that you can control? Do your training, do your posting,
Mm-hmm.
um, doing lives, you can do lives, do your ad, the things that you can control. And then all the rest of the things that you cannot control, just those things are gonna fall in place. But if you
Yes.
focus on the things that you can control, the rest will come. And then celebrate your small wins along the way, you know because that's what is going to keep you motivated. So
Mm-hmm.
don't don't take your or break your goal as a long-term goal. Break it into small goals, and
Yes.
every time you reach those small goals, that will keep you motivated to keep going, to be able to reach that long-term goal.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and the other thing, like for me, for example, my turning point in my journey that made me realize, it was like I mentioned, like I was the setback, but before that, I've been thinking, like I wasn't growing anymore on my job.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the reasons. And also, like I was lucky to work during the pandemic, but it was very stressful because we had to make so many changes in our industry, and like in the office. For example, I work in the office. Like before, we were used to to have a lot of people going to the kitchen and all of that, and then the paperwork. So because of the pandemic, everything has to be like
Yeah.
change. It was a completely change that we have to to make changes and adapt to those changes. Um, so that was a lot of stress during that time. But at the time, I didn't felt it. But years after, that's when I started to see the my like some health issues. And it was
Mm-hmm.
because of that. So that was one of the other reasons that like I didn't wanna. I wanted to find something where I can have that work life balance,
Mm-hmm.
where I can take care of my health, and enjoy what I'm doing, like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a purpose anymore what I was doing. But here, I have a purpose. I love to teach.
Yes.
So I can teach others in this business. So I love that. Be able to
Mm-hmm.
help people that way.
Yes.
So that was my turning point. The that I didn't, like made me, look for it. Even though I knew that I needed to look for it, but I wasn't looking. But now, because of the industry stop, I had to look for something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it made me. But we shouldn't wait for that aha moment. We should look for that plan B beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
especially nowadays because everything is going so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like because of the inflation. And if people don't open their eyes, um, like in 2, 3, 5 years, it's gonna be worse. And a lot of people are not gonna be able to afford to buy food, like the way that they used to, or do the things that they used to do because the money is not gonna be enough. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so if you guys, you have to start, for those who are looking at us today, you have to start thinking about having a plan B, having
Mm-hmm.
plan B, because you never know what could happen. It could be your health too. You know, Stress is very is a killer, a
Mm-hmm.
silent killer. And if you don't pay attention to those clues that your body's giving you, you could end up in the hospital. We have a
Mm-hmm.
friend in the community which that happened to her. She pushed her body too much, that eventually her body say enough,
Mhm.
and she end up in the hospital. So you don't want to wait for that, because if you
Mhm.
don't work and you're depending of your job, then where is the money coming from if you don't
Mhm.
have something else as a backup? So
Yeah.
just think about that.
Yeah, and also, nothing changes if nothing changes. And we hear that, like, a lot of us, like, okay, I'm tired of my situation now, but they don't want to do anything, about it. But they want, oh, I wish I have this, I wish I could do this, I could only, wish this. Well, you know what? Stop wishing, start doing. What is it that really you want? Like, if you want, okay, if you wanna, like, if you want something, then start doing something. Change the way you're doing right now in order to get to, that change that you was, like, you want really. So if
Yeah.
don't expect for the same result, I mean, don't expect for this the different result, and then start, keep repeating, what you're doing right now. You have to change. If you want different result, then change what you do right now. Guaranteed you'll have different result. Don't expect, different, and then if you're doing the same thing over and over again here. So you have to change this, then you get, to a different direction too. You cannot just keep going left and then you wanted to do right. Like, if you will turn right if you want to go right, right direction, right? You cannot say, oh,
Yeah.
I wish I'm just going this way, in hoping, I'll get there. And then, no, you're in the wrong direction, man. Start doing, going to the right direction. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the comfort zone. People like to stay in the comfort zone, even though they know that they need change, but they feel like that place is safe. It's what we were talking about. People think that their job is secure, but that's not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now, with technology that is advancing,
Mm-hmm.
technology is gonna start replacing a lot of jobs. I can tell you, like, many, many years, I used to work in a call center that used to do like audio and video calls.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and now that company, closed down because of the technology replaced all those people who were doing those audio
Yeah.
and video calls. They don't need them anymore. So
So
that's a lot of jobs that they lost, and they had to look for something else.
mm-hmm.
So
That is so.
it's not the
Yeah.
jobs are not secure anymore.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. So what was there a specific lesson or breakthrough moment that helped you push forward?
Yeah, for me, really, when I realized that, in the Bible. So when God told Noah, to build that ark, a lot of people, like, there's gonna be rain, and then God talked to Noah. God did not talk to Noah's neighbor, tell Noah this, So that one really for me, and I think I've heard that from Ray Higdon too. I've been following Ray Higdon, and I've been following John Maxwell and all those, Christian, entrepreneurs, that are really in the business, like, they're successful right now. And he said, and that made me realize, like, like, yeah, God talked to Noah, to build this ark. People, never believed him, kind of like us, like, hey, we have this opportunity. And then Noah told everybody, like, hey, there's gonna be a rain, get inside the ark. But then they don't, because, like, it was not raining. How can you get a flood when it's not raining? Like, at the moment. But to me, like, yeah, I know that this is what God wants me to do. Because this is my heart. I mean, what, like, God put that desire in your heart for a reason. Like, I wanted to spend more time with my, like, I wanted to spend more time with my family. This I wanted to. There's a lot that I wanted to do now. But this is holding me back. This holding me back. And there's opportunity, like, hey, if this is what you want, we'll do this. Sometimes, God put us in a situation, where you have to work. God doesn't do magic. Because God really, like, to me, what's really most important thing is who you're becoming along the way. It's not, to get to the destination. It's not really that. It's not that much important, though it's important. But who you are becoming along the way, in your journey. Like, are you growing? Are we growing? Especially as, personal growth really is a big thing here. But for me, like, that mentality, like, hey, I am the only one that can walk, on this journey. If this is what God wants me to go, I'm not go, because no one can go this for me. This is I have to do this, and then whether people, would believe it or not, that's not out of my control, right? That's out of our control. So we're here, like we're here because somebody else's, our coaches, did their job, to, open their door for opportunity. Like, hey, we have this opportunity. Now it's our turn to tell people about this opportunity, because it's not for them, we will not be here. And then
Mhm.
how could other people, know if we will not tell them, about this business? So to me, really, like, hey, this is even, with my husband, because he's not really 100% in this. Although now, he started to like, hey, I have go live now, so don't call me, okay? So he started, to like, respect that. But you have to have that boundary to like, like, hey, this is what I wanted to do, and I believe this is God's answer for my, for my prayer. But God does not just give you what you want in a magic. God doesn't have magic wand. God is more, like, He's more interested in who you're becoming, along the way. Like, hey, are you ready for the blessing that I have for you? Like, are you ready for these blessings that you're asking me, to give you? Are we really ready? Sometimes, we just wish, wish doesn't work. You have to work for it.
Mhm.
It's they I mean, even that said too, like, how do you call that? More something, more is like, if you want more is required for you to, there's more is required, something like that. But I forgot, the scripture. But yeah, so you have to work for it. So like for me, I am the only one who can do this, so I have to do it. No one can do this for me. So I'm here, and I'm committing to be here, unless God would change, my direction along the way. But while I'm here, I'm gonna do good at it, and then I'll do good at it. So yeah, that's for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I have something that says, where God guides, he will provide. And I
Yes.
always say also, I do my part and God will do his. So
Mhm.
um that's my belief, like I work hard, and then because he's the one who has been actually guiding me, like
Mhm.
my life has been just like reroute, and then I'm here,
Yeah.
so if this is the place that he want me to be, this is, and I really love the what I'm doing, so I really enjoy it. So and be able to help others too. But yeah, so I do my work and then he will do his part, so he
Yes.
will know when the time is right for us to break through. But in the meantime, probably we need to learn more, have more experience, or stuff like that. He only knows, but yeah, we do our work, and that's how it is.
Mhm.
I love the analogy that you mentioned about the Noah's Ark. I love that one because
Thank
it's true. It does make sense to what we are saying. Like we are trying to open the eyes to the people. That there is a better way to have a better lifestyle. Where you have that work-life balance, and you're able to spend with your family and not to worry about the financial stability, because you will have that financial stability. But like Noah's Ark, a lot of people didn't believe,
you.
so
Mhm.
so I love the analogy that you said, because yeah, it is the same
Makes sense.
same
Yeah.
thing.
But
Yeah.
we understand too that, this business is not for everybody. We understand, we're not trying to give people, a guilt trip, but this is not for everybody. So if it's for you, you have to do your part too. So there, we cannot watch the webinar for you because we've watched it already.
Yeah.
So we cannot take the next step for you because we took our next step already. That's why we're here. But if it's for you, how would you know? I mean, if it's for you or not, unless you take the first step. If it's not for you, then that's okay, that's fine. We're here, like one of the entrepreneur, I mean, Ray Higgins guest. He said, all I really want God now is to be that door. That's all he wants. See, I just want to be that door of opportunity. Like, hey, come on in. We have this. And then his job is to open the door. The other person's job is to go inside the door. I cannot walk for you. I cannot go into this door for you because I'm already here. So you have to do your part, that type of thing. But yeah, but
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so well, let's go to the next question. So what advice would you give to someone who is currently facing similar struggles in making the shift to an online business?
yeah. pray about it. Actually, somebody called me earlier, and then they said, you know what, pray about it. If this is what God wants, want for you to do, then go for it. But you have to want it yourself. That desire has to come, from you. Like, you have to ask yourself, what is it really that you want? Don't just do something because this is what other people want you to do. No, because if that's the reason why you jumped into this because somebody told you so, you're not gonna last. That drive, that decision, that desire has to come from you, because no matter what people say, you're not gonna bend, you're not gonna wait, because you decided for yourself. Even if your spouse don't see what you see right now, or like a lot of us, spouse were skeptical, and it's okay to be skeptical. That's also a gift, because they're coming from the protection, love, from love, like they're trying to protect you. They don't want you to get scammed, they don't want you to be this, but and it's okay. But you have to want it. You have to really, like, you have to decide it for you. What is it that you want? Because when you ask, like I said earlier, I asked God, what is it, what's his plan for me? And then he asked me back, what's your desire? What is it that you want? Because God put that desire in your heart for a reason. But what is it that you want? What do you have right now? What is it that you want really from your life? What's your heart's telling you? So you have to start from there. And then all of a sudden, you just, like, opportunity will come. And then don't go for an easy way, because success is hard work.
Yes.
Success is hard work. I mean, be careful with people that are promising you this, in a couple days, promising you a get rich quick scam. Be careful, be careful with those. But if you're willing to work, for, you'll succeed. But don't wish, for, like, be careful, just be careful. But it requires hard work. If you want to be successful, be ready to work hard for it, because then that's legit success. So start from there. What do you really want? Or do you want change in your life? Or are you comfortable with where you're at? If that's fine. But then if you're not, then start looking for something. Start praying, like, Lord, this is where I'm at. I want this, I want this, I want this is what I want for my life. And then God answers. A lot of people, like, they don't, I know, but you ask for it, you desire for it, and then but be ready to work hard for it, because success is a hard work. So that's, and then there's an opportunity. Look into it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. How would you know if it's for you or not if you don't even took the first step? So believe in yourself. Believe that you can do more. Believe that there's more to what's now. Believe that God has a plan for us. And then even in the scripture said, God has, for, like, his plan is, is for good, not to harm you, plan, to be prosperous, right? To give you hope and a future. So there's in that. So you have to believe into something. And then if you can't believe, you can't borrow. Even in our business, right? You have to borrow somebody else's belief if you can't even believe that in yourself. But you have to have some kind of belief. Really believe, believe and you receive. Believe and you'll see. You have to believe, you have to see it, within your eyes first. But yeah, so if there's an opportunity, take a look at it, and then be ready to work hard for it if you want change in life, because it doesn't come easy. But it's doable. It's doable. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it's doable, and it's not like you gotta work like 30 years to get to see the result.
No,
Look,
no.
in average, people are doing it like 3 to 5 years. I mean, some people do it earlier than that, but I would say in average 3 to 5 years,
Mhm.
people start, yeah, seeing the results.
And coach, coach Dave, coach Dave, he said it this way. Think about you're going to college. This is another degree, because you have to learn, the skill of, attraction marketing. You have to, skill, like social media. You have to do all this. There are skills that we need to learn. The business skill, how to talk to people. But we're fortunate that we have, like, we have online system that does, all the, like the close a deal for us. And you don't have to do all that. We don't have inventory. We don't have to have all the products here. Whatever. We don't have that one. But if you want to be in a business, think about it like you're going to college. Don't expect to graduate. If you go for a 4-year course or for your degree, don't expect for you to be excellent on the first year or second year. And then even if you go to college too, like you can't even. It's not even a guarantee for you to already had an income after you graduate, because you still have to find a job, right? You have to apply, and then you have to be hired, and then start working, and then you get your salary. And then what if you took like a student loan? It's not a guarantee for you to pay your student loan, right? While you're still going to school, you can't. But then in business, when you apply what you learn, you get result too. And this is what I
Yeah.
this is well, yeah, this is what really I love about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting paid for studying on
Yes.
this one. Yeah.
Yes.
The difference, when you're going to school, you have to a student loan, and then after you going to school, you still have to pay a couple of years later, you know.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I actually 4 years, I said 4 years ago. Yeah, I wanted to go to school and actually enrolled to a nursing school. I passed the exam, but after I passed the exam, I just don't feel joyous. Like, why is it? Like, I passed the exam, Lord. Like, I could be, I'm already like for LPN. I'm good to go for LPN. But I'm not even proud of it. Like, I don't have to, like, I can't see myself, like being a nurse. I mean, I'm not, nursing is noble, it's a noble job. But I said, like, you have to see yourself first. You have to see, like, I see myself retiring as a nurse? No, I can't. And can I see myself this? I can't. But there's nothing. You have to have, like, you have to see yourself, where you want to be first. You have to see it first, in your eyes, in your eye of eyes, But yeah, but I love it. I love it. I'm glad I didn't go, because then you have to pay. You didn't even start going to school yet, and then your book will be this, your book will be this, and then you have to apply for grant. You have to have a student loan. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even, and I don't want credit. I don't want a debt. And then,
Hmm.
like, yeah, and then after a couple of years after that, like, I'm here. It's like, oh, thank God, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Like, God would like, he would redirect you. Pray for it, and then he will guide you, and then he will
Yeah.
redirect you. If it's not for you, then he will stop you and redirect you, reroute you. That's how God is. You ask him for a guidance, he will guide you.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
a lot.
And that is true. That is true, because like, for example, before I found this online opportunity, I was about to join another one, but
Mm,
then I saw this one. And when this one came up, I was like, because I've seen a lot of the YouTube ads coming in, and then I was skipping, but I don't know, for some reason this one say like, just watch it, you got nothing to lose, so I did. And then when I watch it, like, I love it, and I keep, to see onto the next step, to see more and more, and every time I see more, I was like checking all the boxes that I want. But yeah, like you mentioned, God will reroute you.
mm,
So I started with the other one, but then he redirected me to the one that I was supposed to go. And this is actually, if I look at the other one that I was going to join, and to this one, I'm so glad that this is the one that I'm doing, not the other one, because I really
yes,
enjoy this one,
yeah,
compared to the other one. And you're so blessed, because it's not only like you're doing the business, and you're also helping others, but you also have a global online community that around the world, that a lot of people that you meet along the way, like, for example, I met you, and I met so many other people in other countries.
hmm,
uh, so you make so many connections around the world, so that is amazing.
yes, like-minded people, yeah.
Yes. um okay, so let's go to the last question. Okay. So, what are the key lessons you learned that could help them overcome their obstacles?
That lesson I've learned, like, be yourself. you know um um think about you first. Don't even think, because the moment you think about what other people think of you, then you're gonna lose it. Like, think what think Ruby first. What Ruby wants, like what Ruby desires, and then and then start from there. Because when like, this is what I want, and then most of the time people don't even care about you. Sometimes it's just we're overthinking, like, hey, what if I do this, what would they think about me, and I know, I'm doing this is a legit one, but what if, what if, like, for me, like, think about you first. like yeah, like, you can never give what you do not have. That's really my, that's really, I've heard that when I was in college back home in the Philippines. You can never give what you don't have. It doesn't matter, like, if like money, you cannot give people money if you don't have money yourself. You have to have that first. You cannot give people time if you don't have time for your, even for yourself. So you do have to have that first. So think about you first for now, and then share that later or whatever, like. And then, so people, like, I've heard Rahiden too, like, sometimes we're so, we're so worried about what people think about you. They don't even
Mhm.
think, I mean, they don't really care about you. I mean, do they really care about what you do? They don't, because they have their own lives too. They care about their lives, not yours. So if they may don't like, what you do, and that's fine. That doesn't mean, that doesn't devalue you because they don't like what you do. It's fine, because God designed us differently, right? So you have to be you, I mean, don't be them, because God designed you to be you. So, like, it's, and then the mind shift, like, once you're, you want something different, because you want different results. So you're doing different steps right here, process right here. So, like, be willing to, like, for me, really be willing to work hard, because success, is hard. It's not an easy thing. A lot of people have failed, 1,000 times before they, reach to that, that success. So be willing, and to fail in order to succeed. Be willing to, like, to be, like, just be willing, whatever that is. Work hard for your mindset, work hard, to learn this skill. Work hard to really build yourself up, when you can't find, that motivation from other people. So really focus on yourself first, and it's not being selfish either. That's not being selfish. So you take care of yourself first, so you can take care of others, because you won't be able to take care of others if you yourself needs taking care of too. But so in order, you want to help others, help yourself first. If you want to take care of others, take care of yourself first, because you have to have you first, before you can share that with others. Because if you have nothing in you to share, you can't really share. You can't help. Help yourself first, and yeah, take care of you first before. And that's not being selfish either. Because a lot of people, don't be selfish. Like, help others, but you have to help yourself first before you can, how to call that, before you can, honestly, genuinely help others. Yeah. So that's what I yeah.
Thank you. And the if you see that too, for example, when you're going in the airplane, that's one of the things that the flight
Yeah.
attendants say. You gotta put your mask first before you can help other and put the other mask. So it is saying that in there too. You gotta help
Yes.
yourself first to be able to
Exactly.
help others. Um, the another key lessons, the ones that you mentioned also, like when people are, sometimes, it's not even the other people are thinking, about your business. It's us that, create those doubts and those thinking, so we have to stop those thinking and just focus, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it. Like, for example, like a lot of people, they don't like to post or go in lives on their personal page because they think, oh, what are my family's gonna say? What are my friends are gonna say? I was that at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but we all transition. So I started posting little by little, and then I say, okay, it was okay, and then eventually, I I decided to do my live on my personal profile. So I did it, and I was like, I was scared, because I didn't know what are they gonna think,
Mm-hmm.
once I go live. But then I didn't see any reaction, so then I continued doing it, and now I'm fine. But yeah, you don't gotta pay attention because sometimes it's us that think that other people are gonna say, but it's not really true, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that I would say for to add to the key lessons is, well, you mentioned about believing in yourself. That's one important thing. Believe in yourself. Um, and the other one, I had another thing that I wanted to say, but I forgot. But that's okay. We already
I know.
too too long. So, okay. So I think we have arrived to the end. We touched a lot of things in this live, so hopefully you get inspired with Ruby's journey and her experience, that she shared with us, and it will enlighten you, to be able to take that leap of faith, and to change your life. And
Mhm.
for those who are already on this journey, get inspired, listen to the tips so you don't do those mistakes. Oh yeah, I remember one that I was going to mention. Don't compare yourself to others, because that's one of the things that we tend to do as a
Mhm.
new business owners. We tend to compare to others, and that actually puts you down. You
Mhm.
know, and don't try to be someone else's by doing the same things as the other one. Just be you, be authentic, because people are gonna relate to you, to your story, to who you are. So don't pretend to be somebody that you're not. So that's another tip that I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanna say thank you to everyone that has watched the live today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. To our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey, for believing in us, and for engaging in with our content. For those who doesn't follow us, you can follow us up here on the top, to get to know us a little bit more, who we are and what type of content we post. And also, we do have some more like emojis. So we have Ayrton Salmon. Thank you for your like emoji. We have from Apache Wiz. Thank you for your like emoji. And we have Sara Escalante.
Oh, that's my
Mhm.
mom. My sister, probably. Hi, mama.
Nice. Uma Uma Bakil, Barbet Palapar
Oh,
Baldonado,
yes.
Siliaga
Yes,
Tatupu. Thank you
merci.
so much for watching. Thank you for the heart emoji. So yeah,
Thank
so
you. Mhm.
so if you want to learn how you can start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is register in any of the websites that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the live webinar. Our live webinar happens every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. CST, and 8 p.m. EST. So if you want to attend the live webinar, just register in any of the websites on the screen, and then you will receive an email that will have the link to go and register either for Tuesday or Thursday. So we'll take you to a page that has the two buttons, one for Tuesday, one for Thursday. So you can register for either one or for both. You also get a replay link. So just in case you cannot make it to our live webinar, that's not a problem. You can catch the replay and watch it at your own convenience. In addition to that, we also invite you to our exclusive private Facebook book, uh, no, group, sorry,
Yep.
no book, a private Facebook group, where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Um, so in the webinar, what are you going to find out? Well, you're going to find out how our online business plan works. And also you get to hear from the testimonials of the panelists who will be sharing why they decided to start their online business and how this online business opportunity has transformed their lives. So let's find out who were the hosts and panelists from yesterday's live webinar. Do you want to read the hosts and the first three?
Oh, yes. Host was Maria, and actually, I know two of these. The Prodins is one of my accountability partner, and then she is from England, and then also Joanne. Oh yeah, in our group.
Yeah. Yes.
Joanne, yeah, the eldest is nurse, and I know there was another nurse yesterday too. So, but yeah, so Enrilo manager in clinical quality analyst, the Sola. So these are the people, from different walks of life, from different countries in the world too, and yeah. So
Yeah, so we also have Catherine Litiguri, director,
yeah.
Timothy Hawkins, he's a mobile vendor,
Mm.
and Anastasia, she's a housekeeping.
Mhm.
So yeah, and then Joanne, a dialysis nurse, she's the one that she is in our group. So I got to hear the testimonials for everyone yesterday. So I watched that. So it's good. So if you haven't watched it, you wanna hear their stories, you just have to register into website. So for the live webinar, we have subtitles in 5 languages: the Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. And for the replay, has subtitles in several languages. So we wanna wish. Well, I think we have another emoji from Stella Vertera Basadre. Thank you,
Yes.
Stella. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your
Sorry,
emoji.
Stella from the Philippines. Thank you for watching.
Right.
Share,
Uh,
please share. Yeah, share this so more people can see this.
yes.
Share.
Uh, and we want to say thank you to Ruby for spending her time today with us. Sharing her journey and experience with the audience and with us.
Yeah,
Uh,
what we have here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So then, until the next episode of the Real Talk Journeys of Resilience and Success. Thank you for watching, everyone, and happy and blessed Wednesday. For those who are on Wednesday, happy and blessed Thursday. For those who are Thursday, thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless.